Okay, in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to give a review about our programs, about our project-based learning, especially on the web applications, and also talk about the user experience matters to the whole process of design and development of applications, any application we develop. Okay, the outline is I'm going to give an overview of our new scaffolded curriculum, project-based learning in our curriculum for informatics, IT informatics, and software development, HCI major, all three. And then I'm going to talk about how we find good projects, what method we use, and also our position as an instructor and the student in the learning environment kind of shifting a little bit nowadays. And the second part, I'm going to talk about multimedia applications, the design and development life cycle. So project-based learning would be introduced, I think, 2015 to our old informatics program. Now we have three new degree programs. The one in IT and informatics, and also the software application development, and HCI, human computer interaction. So all based on the project-based learning. What that means is we first identify the projects from the community. We put an advertise website there. We like to build a community website for free so people can fill out the information. They could be a non-profit, profit, or any type of business, a small business, startup, but they are either website or also app development, but they have to commit working with us because we are going to take the different group of students, go through the whole curriculum. So it takes quite a while to complete the whole project. Start from the interview with the client all the way to the delivery of the product, and then later on for the usability study. So it's quite a long journey, and the client have to commit to working with us, although they got free website and apps. And we do this for recruiting projects. We have, we used to have informatics days, and student can sit there for a whole day accepting the new project for evaluation. The current projects may exist and to advertise for us. We still have the club, not quite active as before, but we still accepting members. We have two clubs. One is informatics club, one is user experience club, under our informatics program. So nowadays, if somebody got an idea and thousands of companies will bid on it, a group of people may just form a company and start to develop the idea and create an app or applications. So who will win the game? The one is easy to use. For example, I don't know how many of you, I often ask in class, how many of you have iPhone? And then they raise up their hands. Then you can see about at least half, probably around half people have iPhone. So the reason iPhone is winning the game is they are so much concerned about the user experience. At the times that iPhone was being developed, Steve Jobs required a design team to have a one button screen, and they said one button. Okay, so they came back with 4 buttons, and he just threw the phone away. Said no, not 4 buttons, is 1 button. So iPhone have one of the most easiest interface for the mobile phone industry. They're the design leading the design, and then the other company kind of follow along. And nowadays, even sometimes you don't see any buttons on the phone. So if the user like the experience of using a product, a software, and then they will be adopted applications. If they feel like it's very hard to use, they're probably not going to keep using it. Compared 10 years ago, people would tolerate the internet speed to 30 seconds, but now it's like 1 second. If you not show up, then people will be gone. So that's the market is nowadays. So the user experience is very important. So how we can understand user needs and really giving the products they are looking for. So we need to deeply understand users, involving their, watching their behaviors and understand their cultures, their company, and what the limitation, what the abilities, what their goal objectives. So basically, we're trying to improve the quality of the product later. So user-centered design process include the needs analysis, user and task analysis. So basically, you probably going to interview the client or the real user and to figure out, what they really want to accomplish on the website or app. And then you design a set of tasks that they're going to have to be successfully done. And then you create a information structure and then create different scenarios to meet the client needs, because as far as the user group, it could be a different group of people. For example, like most website, you got faculty, you got student, parents, you got admins, all different source of people, and they are looking for different information. Admission office, they looking for one set of information, register looking one, and student looking one, alumni looking one. So you have to give different scenarios to meet the task they need to accomplish on the site. And then based on the scenarios, you're going to draw the storyboard and to make from the request and to the successful story. And then based on all of those analysis, then you will decide what kind of function is needed. And then set the usability testing, which is based on the task analysis. And for later, you can use for testing your prototype, your design, and your product, and see if those tasks can be successfully done. So the design prototyping is going to iterate it many times until the task was satisfied or the user are satisfied. And it's dynamic. It's not like the fix. If you take couple months to design your prototypes or get your design done, and then user needs may change. So you have to be dynamic, have to be working with the user. Even in the development process, you periodically check with them. So in our case, we have a series courses, and in the beginning of the programs, we try to use each of the course. Within each course, we design a project and let student to practice basic skill and then done project. And then later on you realize, we only have 8 weeks. It's very hard to finish everything. So the new scaffolding project based learning is we include all the courses throughout the whole programs and divided them to different areas of focus of the whole program. So the capstone programs is at the end product. But in the beginning of this pipeline, for example, 372, we start to interview the client and figure out the task analysis, prepare the usabilities to be used later on, and creating wireframes. And then, for example, like this is a project called HOMELESSPET. pad initiative. So that's this is the interview script, and then this is the storyboard, and then the scenario storyboard, and then this is the structure of the site, and then this is a prototype. At the end of the course, you're going to get different version of the prototype get tested and then being confirmed by the client. And next step for 322 or 312, 202. 202 is interface design. We're adding colors to the site. Then moving to 212 and 322, which is a client-side development for HTML, cascading style sheet. 212 is purely coding, and 322 we use a software like Dreamweaver or predefined template to create the site. So we're basically converting the prototype into a real working site, but only working on the client side. And 332 is a class teaching the dynamic content linking to the database. So we use a PHP to inserting and loading the data back forth, communicate from front end form and to the database. So 405 and 498 would be a pair for research method class, project management, and also the capstone. So hopefully by capstone you are concentrated on more testing and more writing. So another thing I want to talk about is the new perspective of a faculty's positions in the classroom setting. So we used to be like this, the faculty standing front and giving lectures, each of y'all just looking at the screen and listening. And now a day for project-based learning, we want the main controller is the student. Student will have a active learning process with a student project, and she or he looking for the component he want to accomplish in the class, and the instructor will step back while we're still giving the basic concept, and then we'll step back and go back to your seats and to assist you like a facilitator to help you where to find information, where to learn the new technology. So the reason is, if you teach one single tool, it will not help you to learn the new tools when you graduate. The goal of me for teaching the class is help you to build a habit of learning new stuff. So we don't know the new concept, okay, we're going to find it out. So a lot of open learning resource like online, Adobe tutorials, MOOC, Lynda.com, Coursera, Udacity's, TOD, OpenStudy, all of those could be our resource. We don't have to stick within the physical classroom. Okay, all of those online resources, but there is a lot. So what the instructor can do is give you direction where you can find the information. That's what I believe is more efficient. And use the instructor, of course, as a resource to improve your product, to improve your, learning experience. Sometimes I feel like, within the class we have different group of students, have different needs. So education is also moving toward to the individual customized personal learning experience. So whatever you need, you bring it to me, and then I will see if I can customize for you. So that's what I believe the education is moving toward to, and that's what I believe I should lead my student to. So this is the end of the first part of the presentation for this lecture, and then the next part I'm going to have a quick overview of the process of website design. So I'll see you in part 2.